Hello, it's Raffle here, and welcome to episode 3 of my series of becoming the best Gran Turismo player. Last episode we did Dragon Trail Seaside, which was a very good episode, so after this episode you can check it out, but as you can see, we've done no more races since then. You can see we've done 444 with almost 300 top 5 finishes, which hopefully today will be 300 as we're doing the Nations Cup, which is a bit different than what the first 2 episodes were, as this is a one race event, so hope you enjoy it as we're using the Red Bull X 2019. Also guys, if you only want to see the walkthrough of Spa, skip to this time that you see on the screen. Today we'll have 3 objectives that we need to complete throughout this race. The first one is to qualify in the top half, A4 or above, to ensure that we don't get in the midst of all the carnage. The second one is to have a clean race with no crashes. This one's pretty self-explanatory. And the third one is to get to A driver rank, as we are very close to doing so if you saw on the last screen. So as we go out for qualifying, you can see we have 5 minutes on a around 2.5 minute track, so we don't have a lot of laps to put in, maybe about 1 or 2, as we'll go out onto the out lap, which if you don't know is in real life is to warm up to tyres and just to make sure that everyone gets like a full lap of racing as we go through Eau Rouge. You can see we're 7th here, but the main objective for qualifying is just to get a clean strip of track where no one is around you. So as you can see, we're going down the Camel Straight. You can see we're behind Eusebio de Silva, a little bit of a gap, but I don't think that's enough. So as you can see, fast forwarding through the lap, just going down through these next few corners, we let the 2 in front of us move forward as we let Burr through, hoping that he'll go through with the other guys, but he doesn't, so we go back and overtake him. And as you can see, we have a clear stretch of track in front of us as we go down through the last few corners, going down into the bus stop chicane. And guys, I have to admit, I'm not very good at Spa, so this track will be a bit difficult for me as we go down the main straight, the start finish straight some may say. As you can see behind us as well, there's no one near us, so we actually got quite lucky in our qualifying position. As you can see, the first corner is pretty poor as we run a tiny bit wide as we go down the run towards Eau Rouge and Radion, 2 of the most famous corners in motorsports. As you can see, 180 miles per hour in gear 7, no braking, so you can see these cars are very powerful. However, later on in the episode, especially in the braking points, you can see these cars are extremely difficult to control, especially out of the exits of the corners. As we go down through these next corners, on the run to Puon now, one of my favorite corners through this track, I believe. As we go through, you can see I'm quite good at this corner, however we could have gone a bit wider there, a bit faster. As you can see again on the exit, not using the whole of the strip on the outside. As we go braking, we're not gaining on Eusebio de Silva in 6th, but I don't think we're losing time to the people behind us. As you can see, Schick is our first person to get spun out, and then qualifying as well. That is pretty poor from him. As we go through this right-hander down into Blanchemont, one of the longest corners on this track, you can see looking behind there's a healthy gap in between us and the Austrian Rhine KTM. As you can see, the first people are setting their lap times. Hummel's done a 152, Apex has done a 152 as well. As we go through the bus stop chicane, we're at a 147, so it's not looking very good for us coming out of the last corner. You can see the average for people is around a 153, and we do a 155. This is extremely poor for us, as luckily we have 1 more lap to do. As we get a snap of oversteer on the exit of turn 1, going down towards Eau Rouge and Radion, you can see already we are P10, almost, actually not almost, we're 7/10 in front of 11th place and 6/10 behind 10th place. So we're in a bit of an empty void here. As we go through the Camel Straight, you can see 194 miles per hour, so these cars are very quick. As we brake, and we're 1/10 slower than our original lap time, so already it's not looking very good for us. As we go through these corners, a bit of a worry through these corners as they're not as smooth as we want them to be. As we go down, and you can see there's someone in front of us, Hummel, the Austrian, so hopefully he can pick us up for some slipstream, but I don't think he will as he's driving away from us. And guys, I just want to highlight something. This strip of green that you will see around most of the outside of the corners are very deadly, so if we go over it, or if anyone goes over it for that fact, their race is basically or their lap even is basically over, as it is very bumpy and basically spins out the car. As we see, guys, we are going through this corner. Hummel is driving away from us, about a second and a half in front of us. So I don't think we'll be getting anywhere near him on this lap. As we go through this corner now, the sectors in between, we'll see us split here, and we're 3/10 quicker than our original lap. So our lap has been saved somewhat through this middle sector. Hopefully we get even quicker through this last sector. Going through Blanchimont, you can see Hummel around a second and a half in front of us, as I said before, but the gap isn't changing, which is looking very promising for us. But as we brake, you can see on the radar someone has absolutely mistimed the braking point and hits us once through the first bus stop, and hits us another time through the second bus stop. So our lap has been extremely ruined by that, and we even go slower than our first lap. So back to the objectives board. There was only one objective which we could complete, which was to qualify in the top half, which we did not do. We ended up qualifying 12th. So hopefully in the race we can do these next two objectives. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Before the race starts, we get to go through the starting grid. So as we go through it, we are starting 12th, of course, but in first we have Hummel, in second we have Apex, in third we have Lud, in fourth we have Sophannias, in fifth we have RTW, in sixth we have Johnny B, in seventh we have Ritlock, in eighth we have Stuntman, in ninth we have Riend, in 10th we have Eusebio, in 11th we have Siani, in 12th we have Refil, the best driver on earth, trying to be the best at Gran Turismo. But in 13th we have Schick, in 14th we have Tex, in 15th we have Maurice, and in 16th we have Burr. So that's our starting grid for today. As we start the race here, you can see already we gain now two positions on Siani and Eusebio. As we go through the first corner, the bus stops again, and we already get hit. And we get reset to the back. I don't understand why. It was not even our fault, just due to the nature of the game. And as we can see on the right hand side, we can see someone else spins off. Sophannias, the Belgium, comes off the track at not even before the race starts. And as you can see onto the replay, one of the people in the back, I think the 15th place person, hit someone else and they hit us. So it's not really a racing incident, but completely unavoidable for us. And as we go over to Sophannias' view, you can see he got hit by the Dutchman who's in the Max Verstappen car, and he just spins out on his own. So it's nothing even to do with the Dutchman. And you can see the difficulty with controlling this car as he just tries to get back on track, but he keeps on spinning off, and again he spins off again. Not even before he's reached the start-finish straight, and he rage quits, which is something that you should never do in motorsport. I don't understand why people do it. As we go back onto RV now, you can see making an audacious move on Riend into turn 1, and you can see we're trying to go into the ghost of Burr, but he comes out of that corner and we hit him as we go down into a Rouge. Unfortunately last out of everyone still running, and Burr gets hit off by Riend, and the person in front of him, who is Eusebio the Silver, gets a penalty, 0.5 seconds, as we try to go round the outside of Riend and round the outside of Eusebio in the Camel Straight before the next corner. We managed to get round Eusebio, but Riend gets to both of us, and you can see people in front, two people collide in that corner, the Italian Tex and the Englishman Schick. And as you can see, going down into Brussels, we can see that us and Riend has gone from 15th and 14th to 10th and 11th through no fault of our own. So we're just getting lucky as we go onto the camera view of Tex, who has a half a second penalty, not even for the for the incident. And you can see Eusebio Silva in 13th place. We go into the cinematic view. If you look at the top right, you can see Apex in 2nd place. The Britishman alongside us makes a huge mistake as he goes onto the green and absolutely smashes the wall at about 180 miles per hour, and that's why you never go on the green at Spa. It absolutely ruins your race as we're now gained the position. We're up into 7th place, and you can see Maurice has gone onto the grass and we hit him. I can't believe this. This was absolutely not our fault as we gain another position. As we go back onto RV, you can see the two of them in front of us crash. Riend and Maurice crash. And you can see he comes onto the track where we have nowhere to go apart from the back of his car. As we go down onto Blanchimont now of lap point, you can see behind us we gain another position due to Riend's collision with Maurice, and we're up into 8th. So we've managed to go from 15th to 8th in one lap, and we didn't even make a single overtake apart from the first corner as we go through the first bus stop chicane of 12 in this race. As we go onto the start-finish straight now of lap 1, we come in 8th place, which we've only gained 3 positions on paper, but in reality we gained 7. As we head on to lap 2 cinematic view, going through Radion and Eau Rouge, you can see that Bird, the German, is about a second behind us, with Tex a second behind him. So you can see there's a train forming behind us as we can't see the person, Ritlock, the Portuguese driver. As we head down the Kemmel Straight, you can see we hit the corner at about 90 miles per hour. So again, emphasizing the power on this car. As you can see, we have kind of opened the gap to Burt. As we head onto our camera view going into Brussels, you can see we take the corner way early. We hit the apex very early as we go through the next few corners, hoping that the people behind us don't gain on us. But looking in the bottom right of our screen, you can see there's no one there, and even looking back, you can see they're a long way back. So we're basically in a no man's land already on lap 2 as we go through this little bit of track as we slightly hit the green. Luckily nothing bad happens to us. Going onto this right hander now, preparing ourselves for the next left hander in this twisty technical section. As you can see, we run a bit slightly wide onto the green. Actually that was a lot, and we're very fortunate that nothing bad happened to us. As we go onto Ritlock 72 view, the Portuguese man in 7th place in front of us, and you can see looking behind there is a very big gap from him to us, so we have a lot of ground to make up. As we go onto turn 1 now, back onto our view, you can see we get very close to the wall. Luckily we didn't hit, and looking behind us now, you can see the gap to the German Burt in 9th place is quite big. And you can see just in the foreground there, the two battlers, Ritlock and Siani in 6th and 7th, right in front of us. And now going onto Siani's view, down the Kemmel Straight, you can see he's trying to make a move on Ritlock, just trying to get into his slipstream, and he decides to go round the outside for this corner, but he doesn't make a move and concedes the place to Ritlock. As they go through these corners and back onto our view, the cinematic view, you can see we're about 2.5 seconds behind on the soft tyres while they're on the medium tyres, which you would see is a big mistake starting on the soft tyres. And you can see as we go at the start of Brussels, they are battling at the end of Brussels, and we hope to gain a few seconds there as we pan onto our view back a few corners down. Right in front of us you can see the two cars, Ritlock and Siani there, so we're hoping on our soft tyre that we can push on and maybe gain the positions as we go through these last few corners of the lap, going through Blanchimont now, fast forwarding to the bus stop chicane as nothing really happens here. And you can see we had quite a good last sector, and going through the bus stop chicane, it is one of our better ones so far. As we go through to the start finish, you can see that we're a quarter of a second, may I say, faster than our original lap time, which was set on lap 2. So quite a good lap from us. As we go through the first corner and looking back, you can see the German Burt is nowhere to be seen, so we're just gonna be pushing ahead as we go down onto Radion and Eau Rouge. And onto this cinematic view, you can see now the camera angle show you the absolute pace of this car as we go through Eau Rouge very quickly, just showing the power of the car. And as you can see in the foreground, you can see Ritlock and Siani, the two people were chasing down right in front of us. So you can see the difference between the medium and the soft tyres around this track as we go a quarter of the second faster than our original first sector. So we're very much flying. As we go down into Brussels, you can see the two guys in front of us fighting, so we're hoping that they make a mistake so we can go through. As we go through the left hander, making sure not to hit the green on the exit, and you can see the gap between us and Ritlock in 7th place has stayed quite even. As we go through Pouon, the long left hander, we take it quite well going through the corner. You can see the gap is about a second. So as I keep saying, we need to close down this gap to Ritlock. As we go onto his view, you can see from his back we're not very far behind him, but he is sandwiched between us and Siani. As we go through the right hander, you can see that Ritlock goes three tenths slower than his original lap time, which is looking good for us. So as we go onto this final bit of the lap, we're not close enough to get the slipstream from Ritlock, so we're just making the progress down this last few bits of the track, hoping that we get the last bit, the bus stop chicane, correct, as we absolutely miss our braking point, going very, very deep into the corner as Ritlock pits. So he's trying to get the undercut on both us and Siani, as we go 1.1 seconds faster than our original lap. But on lap 6, as we're still going quick, we decide to pit, which I think is the biggest mistake we make all race long. As we enter into the pits now, just waiting for our car to come in, as it takes quite a long time. We're going to fast forward it. As we come out of the pits in position 12 out of 13, you can see looking behind us and in front of us we have a clear track ahead, so we just need to plow on, hoping that no one gets in our way and we can just have a clean outlet, making sure that no one impedes it. But as you can see here, as we get closer, there's a bunch of back markers with penalties that we need to clear. The first one being Apex, who was the man in second place at the start of this race before he crashed out. You can see we do an audacious move down the inside of him, as we have to clear him. Going through these next few corners, the next person is Ritlock, so we seem to have done the undercut on him, as he has a penalty, which is unfortunate for him, but good for us. So we gain another position on our outlap. So if you missed it on the transition, we can see that we've also overtook Burst, so we're up into 9th place, so we're a full pit stop ahead of him. And if you don't know what that means, it basically means that once Burst done his mandatory pit stop, we can pit again and be in front of him. As we go onto the last corner, the bus stop chicane, we have a very good exit, to be fair to us. And as we go into lap 8, at the end of our outlap, onto our first real lap since our pit stop, looking behind, there's absolutely no one behind us, as everyone's gone to pit, as we have a rocky exit through turn 1. As we go down the run towards Eau Rouge and Radion, you can see we're going very fast, but not as fast as when we were on the soft tyres, as we will be on the defence from Ritlock in 9th place, as the soft tyres are much quicker than the medium tyres round here, as we're on the medium tyres and he's on the soft tyres, if you didn't know already. As we look behind us now, we can see that Ritlock is right behind us at the end of lap 8. So you can see how fast that medium tyre, how fast that soft tyre is, may I say, compared to the medium tyres. As we hope that he doesn't make a move down the inside of us in the bus stop chicane. You can see we go a bit deep here and we collide. So fortunately for us, it's not us having the short end of the stick. As we go onto the start finish straight on board with Ritlock now, you can see we have a better turn 1 than him, as his turn 1 is not very good, as he has a lot of oversteer going into it, as we get to go away, may I say. But now going into Eau Rouge and Radio, you can see the absolute difference from the soft and the medium tyre. As when we go through, it doesn't look much different, but you can see the gap he closes toward us, and you can see we have to try to defend from him as we stay around the outside, which was a weird move by us, as we know that he's going to try a move here. As he goes down the inside, he makes the move stick. But onto our camera view now, as he makes a move stick, he goes very, very wide, but fortunately for him, he gets his car luckily parked where we can't move. As through this corner we have to concede position, which is the smartest thing to do, because there's no point in battling, because we'll lose time. As we go through Brussels now, we have a very, very poor corner, even going onto the green, which is very bad for us, losing about 1.5 seconds to Ritlock, and again going on the green. So you can see the medium tyres already, even a little bit worn, starts to really deteriorate your performance, and almost going onto the green again through Poem, but we luckily stop ourselves in time, may I say. And looking behind us now, we can see the gap to Maurice is quite a healthy one, so we are hoping just to keep 9th place for now. As we go onto the last corner of lap 9, onto the start finish straight toward lap 10, we can see that we go 3.6 seconds slower than our fastest lap time, which shows the drop off of pace from the soft and the medium tyres. As we go onto lap 1, we can see we miss our apex, so we lose a little bit of time there. And now going on down toward the Eau Rouge and Radio, and looking behind us now, we can see that Maurice isn't in the background there, so we have a bit of a gap towards Maurice and Ritlock, in fact, in front of us. So we're hoping that we can just finish 9th place for now. As we go down the Kemmel straight, as you can see, we have a clear piece of air in front of us, so we can maybe do a flying lap. As we fast forward, we can see that we actually do our fastest sector 1 yet, which is pretty surprising. As we had yellow flags just for a minute there for Eusebio da Silva, as he seemed to have spun out or something, as we can just see him in the distance there, just hoping that we can catch up to him. Looking behind, we can see Maurice has actually closed the gap quite a bit from us as we go through pool, and just hoping that we don't lose out any more time to Maurice. But looking at what happened to Eusebio da Silva as he's going through these corners now, he just takes too much curb and it unsettles the car, so he just spins out, which is very unfortunate for him. Not really his fault, mostly just the car. But as we go back onto our view at the end of lap 10, you can see Maurice has very much closed the gap down to us now. About a second between us and him. And we go through these last few corners going towards the bus stop chicane. Luckily he's too far away to make a move on us as we mess up our bus stop chicane even. Going onto the penultimate lap, 11 out of 12. You can see again making a mistake, and Maurice is right behind us. He might make a move on us into turn 1 as we go defensive. But he tries to go for the switchback. As you can see, we absolutely butcher that corner. He gets a snap of oversteer, but he still gets the move done before Radion and Eau Rouge, so we just have to settle for 10th place at this moment in time. As we go through the corner, we get the slipstream through it, so we hope to have a slingshot going onto the Kemmel straight, and that's exactly what we do. We go side by side going down the Kemmel straight. It's almost like a drag race here, as we seem to get the edge of him before the corner, but now it's just a matter of who breaks first, and it's Maurice on the brake quicker than us. And as we go through these corners, he parks his car beautifully as to not let us go through. As we go onto this cinematic view, you can see us just trying to get past him, going through Brussels now. Using this beautiful camera view, we can see that we're about half a second behind Maurice as we go through these next few corners. But now, guys, I'll show you why it's very, very dangerous to go on the green, as Maurice goes on it and absolutely butchers it, goes into the wall at about 170 miles per hour. This is terrible news for him. As we go through the replay on his cockpit view, as he's driving, you can see he takes the corner a little bit wide, goes on the green, doesn't turn enough, and just absolutely puts it into the wall. And going onto the chase camera angle, we can see again that it is because he doesn't straighten the car up before he gets off the green, and just pull from him just puts it into the wall. Very, very sad for Maurice after having quite a good race. And back onto the view of our car, we're in 9th place, and that's where we're probably going to end up. As we go down onto the bus stop chicane, we can see that we get another position due to Eusebio da Silva pitting. On this last lap, I just want to help you learn the names of the Spa corners. So the first one, this turn 1, is called La Source. It's a very tight right hander. Make sure not to get it wrong and get too much oversteer. As we go down the run to turns 3 and 4, this is technically counted as a turn. It doesn't have a name. But as we go down through to Eau Rouge, this corner, and Radion is this corner, as we go down towards the Kemmel straight, which I've been saying all race long, the longest straight on this track, it's very, very long, and we need to max out the engine as much as possible. As we go down into this little section called Lecum, turn 7, 8 and 9, just make sure you don't touch the green as well through this section, as they will be very costly. As we go down into Brussels, or Bruxelles as the French speakers will say it, this very long right hander which you need to make sure to nail your apex in. And of course this next corner doesn't have a name either, sorry. As we go down towards the run of Pouon, turn 12, a very long left hander which makes sure not to run on the green as well, but this one is personally my favourite corner of the track. As we go onto turn 13, which is again doesn't have a name, and this corner, turn 14, has the name Campus. As we go down onto the bottom of the track, on the track map, Stavolo, turn 15. As we go onto the sector split, turn 16 as well, doesn't have a name. As we go onto this long bit called Blanchimont, Just the rest of this bit towards the bus stop chicane is called Blanchemont, the longest part of the track. However, it is not as straight. Just going down, making sure that you get your lines correct, and down onto the bus stop chicane, the final bus stop chicane of the lap, may I say, as we go finally, and we finish 8th place. So as you can see, guys, we finished in 8th place. We finished the driving marathon, thank goodness for that, as it was quite a long race. You can see we did go down driver rating, which I'm surprised in, as we did finish in the top half. But as you can see, we've completed our sportsmanship rank fully, and which is very good for us. And going back to the objective board, we of course didn't qualify in the top half. We didn't have a clean race with any crashes, and of course we didn't get to A driver rank, which is quite a disappointment considering how hard we worked throughout this race. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe and share to everyone you know. Thank you.